My brothers and sisters, today I stand before you not merely as a man, but as a witness to the great truth that when a soul walks daily in the Spirit of God, nothing in this world can truly defeat it. And before we embark on this journey of truth together, let me share with you 4 spiritual signs, 4 living keys that reveal a heart truly walking in the Holy Spirit. Today I ask you, my nation, my fellow souls, are we standing at the doorway of our last hope, or are we facing the last obstacle before our miraculous rebirth? This is not a small question. It is the cry of an entire generation that stands at a crossroads of destiny. Our path forward demands more than politics. It demands a spiritual awakening. We must recognize that the rule of law, the sacred principle of justice, and the supremacy of fairness are not human inventions. They are divine commands. They are the very fabric of a God-ordained civilization. When we abandon justice, we do not merely betray our people, we betray the trust of our Creator Himself. Without justice, a nation loses its legitimacy before heaven. Without truth, we become blind, stumbling in darkness, enslaved not by chains of iron, but by chains of fear, corruption, and lies. Nation is not built by bricks and slogans. It is built by the fire of character, by men and women who fear God more than they fear the powerful, who love righteousness more than they love comfort. Today the question thunders across our hearts. Will we be the generation that allowed hope to die? Or will we be the generation that rose against all odds to tear down the last obstacle and let the river of divine justice flow freely once again? Throughout our history, we have seen leaders rise, promising the stars, offering dreams wrapped in beautiful words. But how many truly bowed before the divine in the hidden chambers of the heart? How many truly wept before God for the soul of this nation? How many surrendered their ambitions, their pride, their lust for power and said, "Not my will, but yours be done"? Let us be honest. It is not strategy, it is not manipulation, it is not even the loudness of our demands that changes the destiny of a nation. It is brokenness before God that moves mountains. It is purity of heart that calls down miracles. It is the spirit of a people who, crushed but unyielding, still cry out to the heavens, "We choose righteousness." Only then does a nation rise from the ashes stronger than before. Only then does healing sweep across wounded cities and broken villages. Only then do tyrants fall, and a true, everlasting justice begin to reign. If we want to see the chains fall, we must first fall to our knees. If we want to see nations healed, we must first let our hearts be pierced by truth. I tell you today, the choice is ours. Will we surrender to fear, or will we surrender to God and walk straight through the last obstacle into the arms of a miraculous new beginning? The second sign that a soul is truly walking in the Holy Spirit is a fearless love for truth. This love is not casual. It is not a feeling that rises and falls with convenience. It is a burning fire that consumes fear, a holy obsession that refuses to bow before the pressures of the world. To love the truth fearlessly is to stand firm when lies are easier. It is to speak when silence would be safer. It is to defend what is right when it costs you your reputation, your comfort, and even your freedom. The world today celebrates convenience over conviction, comfort over courage. But those who are carried by the Spirit of God are different. They are warriors of light. They will not dilute the truth to gain favor. They will not twist justice to gain power. They do not tremble before thrones, before mobs, before the threats of kings or tyrants. Their allegiance is not to popularity, but to the eternal Judge, the Lord of all truth. A fearless love for truth drives a man or woman to say, Let the heavens fall, but I will not betray what is right. This. Love is the sword that cuts through deception. It is the shield that protects the heart against corruption. It is the banner under which true reformers march, often alone, often misunderstood, but never defeated. This fearless love for truth is not born out of arrogance. It is born out of intimacy with the Almighty. It comes from knowing that truth is not merely an idea. Truth is a person, a living reality, the very essence of God Himself. To betray truth is to betray God. To water down truth is to invite death into the soul of a nation. The Holy Spirit breathes into a surrendered heart the courage to declare truth even when the cost is unbearable. History shows us that every true revolution, every great awakening, every miraculous healing of a broken people was birthed through those who refused to betray the truth for the sake of survival. They were mocked, they were imprisoned, they were slandered, but they were not moved, because when you love the truth, you understand that earthly battles are temporary, but heavenly victories are eternal. My brothers and sisters, without a fearless love for truth, we become slaves to the lies that chain us, but with it, we become vessels through which the impossible becomes reality, through which nations can rise from death to life and broken hearts can be mended by the very hand of God. Today, more than ever, we are called to ask ourselves, do we love truth enough to be fearless for it? Because only the fearless will inherit the future God has written for them. The third sign that a heart is walking daily in the Holy Spirit is an unwavering trust in God's timing. This is no small thing in a world addicted to speed, to instant results, to quick gratification, to human control. It takes supernatural strength to trust that God's calendar is wiser than ours. To wait on God is to wage war against fear, against despair, against the gnawing voice that says, God has forgotten you. An unwavering trust is the silent cry of a soul that has been broken, yet has chosen to believe that delays are not denials, that silence is not abandonment, and that the unseen hand of the Almighty is weaving a masterpiece far greater than we could ever imagine. To trust God's timing is to be mocked as a fool by those who worship the clock of this world. It is to stand still when others rush ahead. It is to endure loneliness while others seem to prosper. Yet those who trust, who wait, who cling to the promises given in the quiet moments of prayer, they are the ones who one day soar on wings like eagles. My brothers and sisters know this. Impatience births Ishmaels, but trust births Isaacs. Miracles that carry the stamp of heaven upon them. If we abandon trust, we seize temporary solutions and forfeit eternal. But if we trust unwaveringly, even when the ground trembles beneath us, we will see rivers part, giants fall, and thrones of injustice crumble before our very eyes. This trust is not blind. It is not weak resignation. It is born of deep intimacy with the heart of God. It grows stronger through every unanswered prayer, through every delay that wounds but does not destroy. True trust is the fruit of battle. It is when everything in your flesh cries out for answers, and yet your spirit kneels and says, even now I believe. It is forged in the fires of loss, betrayal, and confusion, yet it comes out pure as gold. It is in those moments when doors slam shut, when dreams seem to die, that those walking by the Spirit lift their eyes to heaven and say, your ways are higher than my ways, and your timing is perfect, even when I do not understand. Trusting God's timing does not mean passivity. It means readiness. It means living with your heart awake, your hands prepared, knowing that at the appointed hour, the breakthrough will come. Not a minute too early, not a second too late. Those who trust like this become unstoppable. They are not manipulated by fear nor driven by desperation. They move with heaven's rhythm. They march to heaven's drumbeat. They build not for today, but for eternity. They are the pillars upon which nations are rebuilt and civilizations are reborn. My dear friends, in this hour of testing, when darkness thickens and injustice seems to reign, let us not be those who give up before the dawn. Let us be those who trust, unwavering, unshaken, undeterred, until we see with our own eyes the miracles that have already been written in heaven for our nation, for our children, and for generations yet unborn. The fourth sign of a soul walking daily in the Holy Spirit is a humility so deep that it dismantles pride at its root and places the crown of every success, every achievement, every breath back into the hands of the Almighty. Humility is not weakness, it is not self-pity or self-hatred. It is the unshakable knowledge that without God, we are nothing, and with God, we lack nothing. It is the awareness that every gift, every victory, every breath of favor we taste is a mercy, not an entitlement. It is the ability to bow lower the higher we are raised. It is the courage to be unseen, unthanked, unnoticed, because the only eyes we seek are the eyes of the one who sees in secret and rewards in eternity. A humility so deep will not allow a man or woman to cling to their own name, their own glory, or their own kingdom. It forces us to build altars, not monuments, to raise up truth, not ourselves. It is a death to ego, a crucifixion of ambition, and a resurrection of true greatness that does not come from man, but from God alone. This kind of humility terrifies the proud because it is invincible. You cannot defeat a person who has already surrendered everything to God. You cannot shame a heart that no longer lives for the applause of men. This humility is the soil in which the mightiest trees of destiny grow. Because the lower the roots go into surrender, the higher the destiny rises into the heavens. Such humility does not grow in shallow soil. It is cultivated through the breaking, through the seasons, when God strips away the crutches we lean on, when He dismantles our idols, when He allows us to be misunderstood, accused, abandoned, not to destroy us, but to purify us. It is when we have no one left to lean on but Him that we discover the secret strength hidden in surrender. Deep humility teaches us to bless those who curse us, to pray for those who wound us, to serve even when we are treated unjustly, knowing that we are not living for man's judgment, but for God's eternal reward. It teaches us that leadership is not a throne, but a cross. That victory is not the absence of wounds, but the presence of scars carried with grace. It is this humility that allows a nation to be healed, because leaders who have been emptied of pride become vassals through which divine justice can flow unhindered. Without such humility, power corrupts. With it, power redeems. My beloved brothers and sisters, if we are to see a new day dawn upon our land, if we are to see the broken places made whole again, it will not be by might, nor by cleverness, but by a generation so deeply humble before God that He will entrust them with the miracles they could never achieve by human hands alone.